To order at 5:31 p.m. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. Stephanie, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight?
Of course.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee De La Rosa. We're gonna go ahead and move into our next item. Oath of office for newly elected, re-elected board members. Can we start off with Mr. Acuna? Be the first one.
One at a time?
One at a time. One at a time. You take a mic.
A pleasure for me, sir. Just want you all to know that I actually bought real shoes today. It's the one time of the year I'm gonna wear real shoes. Just so you guys know my sacrifice to, no, I'm just kidding. So you all know after the swearing in, and a public official has to sign publicly. So after we did the section, he will retrieve and he will be able to sign the declaration. Okay. So. Ready, sir? I state your name.
I, Joey Acuna,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I will support and defend
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties which I am about to enter.
I'll help you God.
Help you meet. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have Trustee CVUSD.
I state your name.
I, Sylvia Paz,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
So help you God.
So help me God.
You guys want to take a picture with the family? Trustee Paz, go ahead. You didn't want a photo, Jordan? Next, I would like to invite our newest addition to the Board of Education, our trustee-elect, Valerie Garcia. Please join us.
Raise your right hand. I, please state your name,
I, Valerie Garcia,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties and privilege that
Discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and discharge the duties that I am about to enter.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Garcia, no pictures, no. Your fans, you had a pretty big crowd of fans out there. Please join us up in the dais, Trustee Garcia. Moving on to roll call. Mari, can you please conduct roll call?
Sir.
Trustee Adonis Galarza Toledo,
Present.
trustee Jocelyn Vargas, trustee Joey Acuña Jr., trustee Trinidad Arredondo,
Present.
trustee Jesus Gonzalez, trustee Silvia Paz,
Present.
trustee Valerie Garcia, student trustee Stephanie De La Rosa, present. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, item 3, governing board officials elections. Item 3.1, governing board of officers. Can we do something about the echo? Governing board officers elections for the 2023 governing board year. I'll start off by opening nominations for board president. Who? Sorry. Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
Second that. Seeing the nomination for myself, I accept the nomination. Can I get a vote? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Gotta ask if there's any other nominations.
Was that?
Ask if there's any other
Oh,
nominations.
do you have any nominations? Now I'm trying to take it by myself. Any other, no, seeing none, nominations are closed. I accept the nomination. All those in favor of appointing Adonis Galarza as president for the Coachella Valley Unified School Board of Education for the 2023 year, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Student trustee?
Aye.
Thank you. At this moment, I open the nominations for vice president for the Coachella Valley Unified School District Board of Education. Is there any nominations?
Nominate Jesus Gonzalez for the vice president.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Gonzalez, do you accept nomination? Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president? Seeing none, all those in favor of appointing Jesus Gonzalez as vice president for the school district, for the Coachella Valley Unified School District Board of Education, vice president for the school year, for the year of 2023, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Student trustee?
Aye.
Motion carries. At this moment, I'll open up nominations to for clerk.
I nominate Jocelyn.
I'll second.
Justin, do you accept nomination?
Yeah.
Are there any other nominations for clerk? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close nominations for clerk. All those in favor of appointing Jocelyn Vargas as clerk for the Coachella Valley Unified School District Board of Education for the 2023 year, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Student trustee?
Aye.
Motion carries. There you have it, CVUSD community, your 3 new officers for the academic year. So let's give it a hand. Before we get started, I was hoping for this to happen, so I drafted a quick little message. So, good evening, Coachella Valley Unified School District community. It's an honor and a privilege to accept the responsibilities and duties of being elected to serve as president for the Coachella Valley Unified School District Board of Education. It's quite a responsibility in which I am about to enter, and I am fully committed to executing my duties with due diligence and keeping our students at the core of the decision-making process. I'm a product of CVUSD, and I deeply believe that all of our students are capable of achieving their dreams and developing their full potential and dreams. But we cannot do it alone. We have to work together, keep our students in mind, the core, students' best interest, and I hope that we can continue to move forward and continue to revolutionize the way we do education here and the way we view education here in the Coachella Valley Unified School District. We've done pretty amazing things in the last year in regards to social emotional well-being, student leadership, and the list goes on. Right, we opened up a new school, and we're beginning construction of another one, and hopefully in the near future we're able to really work towards achieving a new CV high school for students. So with that being said, thank you to my colleagues, and I appreciate. It's a privilege, right, to be here with you all, because not everybody is charged with this very, very heavy lifting responsibility, but very honorable one. So thank you, Mr. Acuna.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask as a point of privilege that if you would allow the newly sworn in board members to say a few words. Not, we'll have an opportunity, not for me mostly, but we'll have an opportunity in public session, but a lot of these people won't be here probably for that. So especially the newest members themselves, they've heard me talk a lot, so they don't need me, but I wanted to give the opportunity to our newest board member to say a few words.
Of course, of course. Trustee Garcia, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody who yelled in support right now. That was awesome. I didn't expect that. Thank you so much. I'm honored to begin the good work that we're going to do for our students and community. So thank you so much. I'm honored and privileged and ready to start this work that we're going to do today.
Vice President Gonzalez, do you have any words that you'd like to share with the public? I don't. Thank you. Madam Clerk, any words you'd like to share with the public?
I wasn't expecting that. No, I'm just really happy to see everybody here and
Awesome. At this moment, we'll move on to item 4.1, recognition of Coachella Valley High School Girls DVL Championship and CIF qualifiers.
Good evening, Board President Galarza, Vice President Mr. Gonzalez.
Sorry about that. Can I really take a quick minute? My family was here to see the appointment and I want to get a picture with them. So
Yeah.
before we move forward. The floor is yours, Dr. Williams.
All right, good evening, Board President Galarza, Vice President Mr. Gonzalez, Board Trustees, Dr. Valentino and Cabinet, good evening. So this is an exciting time. We always love to recognize our sports. And the qualifiers and criteria that we have to recognize at the board is that they would be league champions, CIF champions, or there's academic awards that are out there. So we recognize there's under the criteria, we have 4 teams that qualified, and all of them were domination from CV High School this fall. So they had a fantastic year. So let me invite Athletic Director Jason Castillo to introduce the teams and the athletes.
Thank you, board. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. We had, like Coach Dr. Williams said, we had an amazing season. There's 5 sports in the fall season, and we had 4 champions of those fall sports. So I'm going to call it first up. I'm going to call girls golf team. We only had actually 1 girl because the rest of the team is out playing other sports. And assistant coach Ron Alford. Girls golf team has gone undefeated in league the past 2 years and back-to-back DVL champions.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ron Alfred, the assistant coach for girls golf at CV High School. This is Melissa Perez. Just to show how well-rounded our golf team is, she's the only one present because other girls are involved in other activities or sports. So I'd like to present this certificate to Melissa Perez.
You too.
Okay, our next sport of the night will be our girls tennis team. They also have been undefeated the past 2 years, and I believe back to back for 3-time champions for league. So Coach Duong will be calling up the girls tennis team.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, the board. But first, I want to recognize a couple coaches that helped me along. First is Coach Salas. He's a boy coach, and he helped me coach the girl for the last few years. And he's also worked directly with the Indian Well Tennis Garden to acquire all the scholarship for the last few years. And this year, he got a couple more scholarship, $15,000 scholarship for Desert Mirage. My other coach is Coach Sue Davis. She's a community coach. She's been helping with the teams before I became coach with Coach Simons back there somewhere. And she helped the girl to get all the beautiful clothes, look like a pro out there playing tennis during practice, and the uniform for all the years that I've been coaching. So first, I really don't know how many people are here, but let me recognize Daphne Rodriguez. She's MVP doubles for the DBL. And this is her second year's playing tennis, right? And her partner is Veronica Gonzalez, also MVP. They both had the record of 41 game, lost just one. Pretty impressive. And we also have a single players, Navarre Robles, MVP DVL. These are juniors. I'm hoping that she's going to come back and help us win another season. And like every other sport, all the girls is busy doing something else. Our single champion for DVL is busy taking photos for the basketball game. She's not here.
All right, and definitely not last but not least, our girls volleyball team. They have been undefeated. They have been undefeated the past 2 seasons. They were a very dominant team this year. They didn't lose one set in league. That was so that's an accomplishment on its own. And Coach Carlos Contreras will be here to call up the girls.
It's my 4th grade teacher. That's right. I remember. I was known as his 4th grade teacher, so he's pretty old, not me. My name is Carlos Contreras. Thank you guys so much for recognizing us. Truly appreciate it. Especially most importantly, recognizes the girls' effort this year. We start practicing in May, so our season is like 8 months long. So they definitely deserve this. They do a good job. Yeah, great season for us. Super proud of the girls. We ended up 21-2 with a 20-game win streak. And we were ranked #1 in CIF for the first time ever. So that was fun. That was cool. So I'll take some time to recognize the girls. First up is Emily Torres. She's a sophomore. She'll be back. Next up, this athlete is actually from Peru. So we're so good, we're getting internationals now. I'm just kidding, but we are pretty good. She's from Peru, and she transferred here as a freshman. Then, because of COVID and everything, she didn't get to play to her junior year. So she's very special to the team. They embrace her, and I hope she enjoyed her time with us. So Mia Cifuentes. All right, and hug you. Next up is Arissa Gonzalez. This is one of our seniors. She was a league MVP, Aubrey Torres. Isabel Insunza. Her sister, Ayana Insunza. The other sister, Angelina Valencia.
6 p.m.
She's not on the team. And last but not least, Leslie Lagaro. I think we have about 5 girls that are out playing with their feet and a ball, playing soccer. So yeah, we have, like Coach said, we have well-rounded athletes too, and most of these girls play other sports. So this is, you'll see them often, hopefully, right? Thank you so much.
Also real quick, voted among his peers for Coach of the Year in volleyball was our coach, Carlos Contreras.
Congratulations again to CV High School, and at next board meeting, we will recognize the football team. We figured the football team would take up the whole place too, so we had to break them up. So football will be in January. Thank you again. So again, this is a fantastic honor. Not all coaches obviously get this recognized, but going all in with his team, all in with the league, setting such high standards, being #1 seed in volleyball. That's a fantastic accomplishment, and so they recognized our coach. So again, Coach of the Year for volleyball this year. So congratulations.
You're trying to figure out what he's saying.
Sure.
Moving on to our closed session items. At this moment, into closed session public comment. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the governing board regarding any closed session items within the board's subject matter jurisdiction. Please complete a request to address the governing board form and hand it to the recording secretary. These online forms submitted electronically will be read. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes per person with a maximum of 20 minutes to each subject matter. First up, Carissa Carrera, CVTA president.
Good evening, President Galarza, trustees, Dr. Valentino, and cabinet members. I would like to discuss the parameters you've provided to your negotiations team and why a 5% offer is not in the best interest of the students of CVUSD. We started the school year with more than 50 certificated vacancies, and we will end the first semester school year with double-digit vacancies, 35 of them right now. CVUSD needs to competitively compensate educators in order to attract quality candidates and retain the great educators we currently have. You'll hear me make comparisons right now to Palm Springs and not to Desert Sands. Let me explain why. We do not use Desert Sands as a gauge to see if we were well compensated because they make less than us. They've always been the lowest paid in the valley, yet they never have trouble staffing. Educators flock to that district because they believe it is a well-run district and is a better district. People often choose Desert Sands because they don't even want to work with our population. My comparisons will be to Palm Springs because they have a comparable student population to ours when looking at their unduplicated pupil counts. These unduplicated pupil counts include EL students, those on free and reduced lunch, and foster students. As you all know, school district funding is significantly increased when there are high unduplicated pupil counts. Both Coachella and Palm Springs have numbers above 90%, and Desert Sands does not come close to those figures. As you've likely heard, Palm Springs negotiated a 9.7% salary increase this year, keeping them the highest paid in the valley, even if we were to also negotiate a 9.7%. They also reached their max compensation 2 years earlier than we do, which provides greater career earnings. Palm Springs did not start the year with any vacancies, and they currently only have 5 now, which are due to internal movement only. Your bargaining team is not using an inability to pay argument. That means it is an unwillingness to offer more, and we believe that decision hurts our students. Of course, it also hurts your current educators. This district received a 6.56% COLA, as well as a 6.7% increase to the base grant. The unusual increase to the base grant is an acknowledgement by the state that the consumer price index has gone up drastically. Add inflation to that, And that right there is the reason why people are seeking higher salaries right now. Your offer of 5% doesn't even cover the cost of living. You have an ongoing 13.62% increase to your revenue, yet you would choose to offer just 5%. That's it for mine.
Next up, Jeff Kruger. You can start. Jeff Kruger?
You can start. Yes. Good evening. I'm Jeff Kruger, a teacher at CDA. Your reserves continue to increase. 3% reserves are required. 6 to 7% would be fiscally sound. In 1920, your reserves were over 10%. In 2021, they were over 14%. Currently, your required reserves are projected to be close to 16%. We aren't sure why you choose to keep your money rather than spend it on the students who deserve a quality education, starting with the ability to maintain a quality workforce. Don't all of our students deserve to begin the year with a highly qualified teacher and also end the year with that same teacher? Right now, we have 35 classrooms full of students who don't get that consideration. You don't have an inability to afford competitive compensation, which will attract educators to CVUSD. What are your priorities? Our students deserve better than a rotating door of long-term subs because of our inability to attract and retain educators. We currently have more than 100 teachers either in the internship or new teacher induction program. Will we be able to keep our new teachers after we have invested in them, or fill additional vacancies from retirements and resignations? With a 5% raise, a special education teacher with 11 years in our district would make just over $103,000. If that teacher moved to Palm Springs, he will make nearly $132,000, a difference of just over $28,000. A first-year special ed teacher in Palm Springs will make $5,409 more than a first-year teacher in Coachella. It seems a SPED teacher trying to support a family would be more inclined to move to Palm Springs. The same could be said for our speech pathologists, nurses, and counselors. Your offer of 5% is not sufficient to attract and retain quality educators. HR needs all the resources available as they continue to recruit, one of which needs to be a competitive salary settlement. Thank you.
Gabriel Hernandez.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Hernandez, and I have been a chemistry teacher at West Shores High School for 5 years. At West Shores, we have the most unfilled positions of any school site. West Shore students deserve better than multiple substitute teachers throughout the year. We are robbing West Shores of an equitable education by not doing everything to recruit educators who are actually qualified to prepare them for college. I know personally, as a graduate from West Shores, that the classes with credentialed teachers prepared me for college, while those with rotating substitute teachers did not. Please consider expanding the parameters for your bargaining team. Thank you.
Someone more? Simon.
Yes, Simon Moore. I'm Simon Moore. I am the coordinator for the Health Academy at Coachella Valley High School. We have several unfilled positions at our site, and it is a concern that we still can't fill 5 of them, still 5 months into the school year. I have nearly a dozen students who had no chemistry teacher this year. My son, Simon Thomas Moore, graduated from CB High School and recently from UCLA. I asked him to help out and sub until we secured a chemistry teacher at our campus, which shouldn't be long. He's been teaching chemistry since the beginning of the school year. Each morning we check in, we're called nearly every day to cover a class. for one reason or another. Simon was recently accepted to medical school and will be leaving soon. The open chemistry position will remain. Our students cannot be competitive when already complicated classes are interrupted due to our district's inability to attract and retain teachers. I don't mind covering here and there, but my ability to promote our community partnerships, job shadowing, and work-based learning is reduced when I cover classes. Additionally, each morning, probably over 100 students can be seen walking the halls. I've asked them why I always see some of them. I have been told by maybe 20 or so that they have no teacher. Our admin and security are top notch, but we're all pushed to the limits. We all care about our students. When others are leaving the profession, we are holding the line. Help us to receive the reinforcement we need to stand fast on that line by authorizing more equitable parameters for the bargaining team. We can get there together. Thank you.
Celia Garcia.
Good evening. My name is Celia Garcia. I'm a resource teacher at Las Palmitas Elementary, but tonight I'm here on behalf of our colleagues at Bobby Duke. At Bobby Duke, they also have several unfilled positions. Having subs for the year, I think we can all agree, is not in the best interest for anyone, especially our students. When we have vacancies for the majority of the year, especially in subjects that are core like math and ELD, those students are not going to be prepared to move on to high school. And as a district, we've already decided that our goal is to get all of our students college and career ready. But with your unwillingness to provide a competitive salary, it really prevents that from happening. So tonight, I ask you to please consider expanding the parameters for your bargaining team. Thank you.
Rolling Salas.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorraine Salas, and I am a proud teacher at Oasis Elementary. I'm here speaking on behalf of Sister Chavez. They have unfulfilled positions at their site, and they have the same concern about being able to attract and retain educators. Elementary years are the students' formative years, preparing them for the remainder of their education. It is unfortunate that several groups of students will not have a highly qualified teacher for the school year because we are unable to fill applicants interested in going to CVUSD. Please consider expanding the parameters for your bargaining team. Thank you.
Rachel Flores.
Hi, good evening. My name is Rachel Flores. I'm a teacher at John Kelly, and we also have vacancies at our site, which is very concerning that we do not have the ability to retain quality educators. And while I'm very grateful for some of the long-term subs we've had, it's still not the same as having that highly qualified teacher inside the classroom. Furthermore, as a mom whose daughter is enrolled at CVUSD, who attends John Kelly, I would be livid if I found out that my daughter spent the whole year with a substitute and not a credentialed teacher. Please, I urge you to expand the parameters for your bargaining team. Thank you very much.
Anna Conover. Conover, thank you. English is my second language. Sorry.
Good evening. Good evening, Board, President Galarza, Dr. Valentino, trustees, and cabinet. My name is Anna Conover, and I am an intervention teacher at Palmview Elementary. When a site has an unfilled intervention position, it affects many more students than just one classroom. Valley View Elementary has an unfilled intervention position. We are currently on the 83rd day of school, 4 months into the school year, and we haven't been able to find anyone to cover the person's class, so the teacher is still in his regular classroom and nobody is providing intervention to 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, simply because we can't find a teacher to take his class and allow him out to do the intervention. Without intervention, it becomes harder to close the academic gaps that our students are struggling with as a result of the pandemic. Unless we are able to compete with neighboring districts for quality educators, this problem will only grow. Please consider expanding the parameters for your bargaining team. Thank you.
Juan Silva.
Good evening. I'm Juan Silva, a teacher at Coachella Valley High School. This is just a sampling of the sites where vacancies exist, and it's negatively affecting student learning. Only some of our students get a full year with a highly qualified teacher. We believe all of our students deserve that. Our HR department should be provided the tools they need in order to recruit and hire qualified teachers before we start our next school year. And one of those tools needs to be a competitive salary. You can accomplish this by expanding the parameters for your bargaining team to allow them to negotiate, in good faith, a competitive salary which will attract quality educators and will allow us to keep the ones we already have. Thank you for your time. Providing quality education for our students should be your top priority, and that begins with being able to hire the best educators.
Thank you. Maria Hutchin? Yes.
Coachella Valley Unified School Board Trustees.
Excuse me, can you speak into the mic?
Good evening. I'm one of your teachers at Desert Mirage High School. 7 years ago, when I acquired my teaching certificates, several members of my family were pressuring me to apply for positions in school districts in other parts of the state. They had openings and I had connections. I said, no, I'm going to try and get a job in Coachella because I can afford a house here, and Coachella Valley Unified is the highest paid school district in the state. Here I am 7 years later, and that is no longer true. Our students are feeling the direct impact of this change. We lost a guitar teacher, which required we shuffle 180 students around 7 periods for a total of over 1,000 class transfers weeks after schools had started because of the loss of that single teacher. Desert Mirage set up for adding an art teacher, and 180 students a day came to sit in a classroom that was not outfitted with a credentialed teacher, lesson plans, or supplies. My assisting the revolving door of subs with activities was no substitute for a credentialed teacher. I have since learned this is happening in several classrooms in our district. In the years following our having the distinction of being the highest paid district in the state, we did not receive a raise for 5 years. Since the 4% we received 2 years ago, salaries across all industries in the US rose 8% in each of the last 2 reported fiscal years alone. In the 3 prior years, they rose 2% a year. That is a total of 22% that salaries rose in the years Coachella Valley Unified School teachers received just 4%. Factoring that huge discrepancy with a whopping 13% increase in food, gas, electricity, and shelter makes the teaching profession in the Coachella Valley District unattractive. To attract quality educators and to incentivize local young professionals to want to work as teachers in our district, we need to raise the salaries to a level that appeal to people facing unprecedented cost of living and runaway inflation. We run the risk of losing prospective talent to nearby well-paying districts. Desert Sands and Palm Springs districts quickly recovered from our successful luring of teachers in the previous years with our attractive pay schedules by matching them with attractive packages. We did nothing to ensure the retention of our present educators and nothing to inspire rising young graduates to the teaching profession. I do not understand why you are withholding the funds that were determined by the state to be necessary as compensation for cost of living increases. We are your infantry. We are your first line of defense. We are your first responders with our fingers on the pulse of the youth in the Coachella Valley. And you are withholding funds that were given to you to compensate us for inflation that has besieged this country. I do not understand why you would withhold that. If I were outfitting my front lines, I would hand them everything I have at my disposal. If I received something to give to them, I wouldn't hold it in a locked room. I wouldn't be able to pass it on fast enough. I'm asking this council to please use the funds that you were given to increase the teachers' salaries and give us back the designation that drew teachers from all over California and beyond. Our students desperately need and deserve it. And isn't that what the money is for, to give them the best educators? Thank you.
Thank you. At this moment, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Student trustee?
Aye.
We'll be back at 7 o'clock. And if we are coming back later, we'll let you all know. Motion to return, any action announced, any action taken in closed session, Madam Clerk?
Yes, 3 items. The board took the following action in closed session. We approved expulsion case number 22/23-005. For stipulated expulsion, motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Gonzalez, and the motion passed 7-0. The board took the following action in closed session. We approved expulsion case number 22/23-007. For stipulated expulsion, motion was made by trustee Arredondo, seconded by trustee Acuna. Motion was carried 7-0. And the last item, the board took action during closed session to appoint Karen Perez Walligan as high school assistant principal CTE at Desert Mirage High School effective December 16th. Motion was made by Mr. Arredondo, seconded by trustee Garcia, and motion was carried 7-0. Thank you, that's it.
Awesome. Is there a motion to approve agenda as submitted?
I do.
Is there a second? Second. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Acuna. All those in favor? Mr. Arredondo, sorry. Any opposed? Any abstain? Our student trustee?
Aye.
Awesome. Board notifications, request to address the board, public comment. At this moment, I'll go into public comment. Introductory comments and requests to address the board on items on the adopted agenda and items not on the adopted agenda will be considered from the audience at this time. Please complete a request to address the governing board form and hand it into the recording secretary. The online form submitted electronically will be read. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes per person with a maximum of 20 minutes to each subject matter. Additionally, the person making the request should state his or her name and the name of the organization or group represented. Please be advised that the board is not always at the liberty to answer questions right away. State law prohibits the board from taking any action on items not listed on the agenda. At this moment, we'll go ahead and call up Ray Ansaldua.
Check, check. Hello? Did you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go. All right, good evening, board. I didn't write anything tonight, so I will speak candidly and just tell it. So, good evening, board. Thank you, everyone out there, for showing up tonight. My classified members, our certificated and teachers who came in. Thank you all for being there. As we wrap up the year of 2022, I just wanted to show appreciation for everybody, especially our members. And I hope everyone takes time to reflect on successes and failures of the year. Take time to rest, be with your families, take time for yourself so that we can come back with the same passion that we always do at the beginning of the school year. What I asked from the board is to make sure that, you know, our administrators and everyone else are keeping what they implement tight. And what I mean by that is, you know, with our Raptor systems and our student safety, make sure that that's tight. I want to see, you know, our students safe and during our big assemblies to make sure that, you know, nothing goes wrong and whoever's not supposed to be there is not there. Also, I sat in our transportation meeting to introduce that new funding from legislation that we really look at that and take the time to plan that well. One thing that was on the presentation that wasn't said was that there is ongoing COLA for our transportation. So please bear that in mind. I'd also like to mention about the handbook that we're also developing, that I understand through expediency, we want to copy and paste from other districts and what other people have done, but I also want to make sure that it does speak CVUSD's values and that it is for our employees, not someone else's. So lastly, I'll close with this, that I know we can do better with the COLA. Our staff not only needs it and deserves it, but it's for our families as well, to keep us going and to keep us coming in. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and happy holidays to you too. Lorenza Rosas.
Mi nombre es Lorenza Rosas y voy a pasar esta luz.
Disculpe, si puede hablar un poquito más cerca al micrófono.
Mi nombre es Lorenza Rosas y estoy aquí porque mi hija no asistió a la escuela John Kelly durante 2 meses y medio por la razón que el 30 de septiembre su maestro Jesús Marcos Espinosa la tocó borracho y mi hija tiene mucho miedo, está aterrorizada y traumada, encerrada en su cuarto. Y yo estoy solicitando una escuela privada y que las investiguen, que tengan buen récord, protección y seguridad y bienestar por mi hija, porque ya no quiero que mi hija vuelva a ser dañada por la escuela y los maestros, porque me ha afectado a mí y a mi familia todo lo que le sucedió a mi hija. Y no se me hace justo que no le han dado ni hospital programa en la casa, no tienen nada de escuela. Y he venido al distrito el 7 de diciembre, tuve una reunión con el superintendente Josie Paredes y lo que yo solicitaba es una cita directamente con Valentino y no me has escuchado, porque yo le enseñé un video a Mari Tarango el 31 de octubre de cómo está mi niña y me siento que me están ignorando. Y también hoy tuvo una junta de IP, y estuvo Robert y me está diciendo que las escuelas están llenas, que espere yo, y a mí no se me hace justo que a ellos nomás les importa que yo les firme el IP. No, ellos tienen que saber y preocuparse por mi hija, por su salud, cómo está. No, porque les sirve el IP ya, que escuche mis preocupaciones, porque lo que hicieron a mi hija me la dañaron y está sufriendo mucho mi niña, como que no les interesa lo que está pasando a mi niña. Y espero que por favor me escuchen, porque yo ya estoy 2 veces así y no me quiero escuchar como debe de ser. Y muchas gracias por su atención.
Gracias. Mr. Valentino, Dr. Valentino, pueden reunirse con ella, incluir a Julissa y no sé, parece que se reocupa un equipo más para darle los servicios que necesita su hija.
Sí, pero es importante que sepan que ha habido varias conversaciones con la señora. Se ha proveído información importante que no se ha seguido. La información que se les ha dado no es completa, pero para ayudar a la mamá y a la familia, vamos a citar una reunión en la cual vamos a clarificar lo que de veras está pasando.
Yo solicito que por favor los superintendentes se envuelvan en este asunto, porque es algo muy serio y muy delicado lo que cometió la escuela, haber permitido un maestro borracho en horas escolares, y el maestro estaba borracho desde la 30 de septiembre en la junta, porque la maestra Miss Flores lo jalaba de la camisa, le daba al oído, le llamaba la atención, y todos, Robert, estaban nerviosos, todos los del equipo, la doctora psicóloga Erika Mailén lo miraba muy enojada. Todos estaban sabiendo ahí, nadie reportó eso, pero todos.
Gracias. And yeah, let's deal with this
as soon as possible, but not really.
I'm gonna do. Hello? Is this on? Okay. I'm gonna do my best to summarize what she said. For about 2 months now, my daughter has been suffering from trauma regarding an incident that happened at the school. A teacher showed up intoxicated, and that was very traumatic for my daughter. I've been seeking help and have not been getting the answers that I need. We need support regarding this.
Thank you. Espero y por favor presten atención porque ya tengo 2 meses así. Yo caí en el hospital, estuve en el hospital por depresión, estrés, fue lo que me provocó la escuela y el distrito que no me quedó escuchar en una cosa muy seria que le afectó a mi hija y que psicológicamente me la dañó emocionalmente y deprimida y ansiedad. La niña no está bien, quedó mal porque el maestro la tocó borracho.
Muchas gracias. Nos reuniremos con usted.
My daughter has been in her room for 2 months. The intoxicated teacher did touch my daughter while he was drunk. And algo más.
Mi hija está diciendo que no quiere venir a la escuela John Kelly porque tiene mucho miedo, porque el maestro la dañó y no quiere maestros ya, quedó muy dañada. De hecho, tiene pesadillas que un hombre la toca con unas manos peludas, que un hombre se aparece en su cuarto. La niña quedó mal emocionalmente, psicológicamente, está deprimida y ansiedad, está sufriendo mucho.
My daughter is very depressed. She's very afraid of males. And now she doesn't want to have a teacher anymore.
Thank you.
Todo esto lo tiene Valentino, le mandé correos electrónicos. También Robert, les he estado hablando electrónico, no sé por qué no han prestado atención, pero me gustaría que se involucraran en esto, porque es algo muy grave y muy serio.
Mr. Valentino has all the information. I've sent emails, and we do need to resolve this matter.
Muchas gracias y estaremos en comunicación con ustedes. A Rosalino Cortés.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Rosalino Cortés y soy el papá de Yuridia, que estaba en la escuela John Kelly. Y el 30 de septiembre venimos a una junta de AP y el maestro actuaba raro. Y tuvo que ir la directora y hablar el oído para que se calmara. Ya después pasó la junta y después de la junta, cuando mi hija vino por las niñas llegaron llorando que el maestro estaba borracho. Y la niña Yuridia dijo que le había tocado y que estaba borracho. Y desde entonces la niña se ha puesto agresiva, no quiere ir a la escuela, se encierra en el cuarto, le echa llave y no ha venido entonces no ha venido a la escuela desde hace 2 meses y medio y no le hemos pedido clases a la casa y no nos han dado respuesta. También pedimos una escuela privada para que tuviera mejor la niña y no nos han dado respuesta. Y nosotros lo que queremos es que atiendan nuestras preocupaciones.
Muchas gracias.
My name is Rosalio, and I'm the father of Yuridia Cortez. She goes to John Kelly School. On the 30th of September, there was a teacher at the school that was intoxicated, and he touched my daughter. Since then, she has a lot of anxiety. She is depressed. She has a lot of aggression. She hasn't been to school in 2 months. My daughters all came home crying and said that the teacher was drunk and that he had touched my daughter Yuri. Since then, she does not want to go to school. Today, we had the IEP meeting, and the teachers did not take into account that she has not been in school for 2 months. We were asking for at-home school, but that hasn't been given to us either.
Gracias. Verónica Juárez.
Buenas noches, honorables miembros del board.
Good evening, members of the board.
Mi nombre es Verónica Juárez, coordinadora del grupo de apoyo psicoeducativo en el Valle de Coachella. Trabajamos en colaboración con varias organizaciones que abogan por los derechos de las personas con diferentes discapacidades.
My name is Veronica Juarez. I'm the coordinator for a support group. Psicoeducativo in the Valley of Coachella. We work together in collaboration with various organizations that advocate for the rights of the people with different disabilities.
Promovemos talleres educativos y promovemos la buena comunicación entre los padres y los diferentes sistemas gubernamentales, incluidos los distritos escolares.
We promote educational workshops and good communication between parents and different systems, including the school districts.
Las estadísticas muestran que las personas con discapacidades son más vulnerables a ser víctimas de abusos, tanto físicos como emocionales.
Statistics show that people with disabilities are more vulnerable to be victims of abuse, physical as well as emotional.
Estoy enterada de que Yuridia Cortés, niña de 9 años que cursa el 4º grado y que es elegible para educación especial bajo deshabilidad de aprendizaje y deshabilidad de habla y lenguaje, fue tocada inapropiadamente por su maestro en la escuela, Jesús Espinosa, quien estaba borracho, y durante horas escolares y desde el septiembre 30 del 2002, Yuridia ha quedado con un trauma psicológico y no ha querido regresar a la escuela. John Kelly.
I have found out that Yuridia Cortez, a 9-year-old student, was a victim of her teacher, Jesus Espinosa. He touched her inappropriately while he was drunk during work hours, the 30th of September in 2022. Since that day, Yuridia has been traumatized psychologically, and she does not want to return to school at John Kelly.
La directora fue informada de lo sucedido y hasta el momento Yuridia no ha recibido ninguna ayuda por parte del distrito escolar ni de la escuela.
The principal has been informed of what happened, and up until now, Yuridia has not received any help on behalf of the district or the school.
Y el distrito escolar, en vez de brindar ayuda a la familia, está demandando a los padres, llevándolos al debido proceso, ocasionando mucho estrés en la familia.
Rather than the district giving the support to the families, they are doing their due process and causing a lot of stress to the family.
Como miembros del board, es su responsabilidad velar por la seguridad, integridad y bienestar de todos y cada uno de los estudiantes, incluyendo a los estudiantes con necesidades especiales.
Like members of the board, it is your responsibility to secure the students and the well-being of all of the students, including students with special needs.
Hoy una persona con poder de decisión nos dijo en una IP que las escuelas están llenas y solo pueden poner a Yuridia en la escuela Peter Pendleton, lo cual no es una opción para la familia, ya que en el pasado han tenido una de sus hijas fue abusada verbalmente por una maestra en esa escuela.
Today, someone in power took the decision, told us that the schools are full and the only school available to put Yuridia in is Peter Pendleton, which is not an option for the family because in the past, one of her children was abused verbally by one of the teachers at that school.
por todos los abusos de que ha sido víctima Yuridia y su familia, está solicitando una escuela privada pagada por el distrito.
For all of the abuse, and as Yuridia is a victim, the family is asking for a private school paid for by the district.
Por favor, miembros del board, les pido su intervención en este caso para garantizar a Yuridia que tenga una educación gratuita en un ambiente seguro para ella.
Please, I ask you, members of the board, for you to intervene and grant Yuridia access to an education in an ambiance that is safe for her.
Por último, espero que los miembros del board o las personas que están aquí a cargo de la educación de los estudiantes no tuvieran que pasar por este devastador incidente. No quisiera verlos a ustedes tener el sufrimiento que está teniendo mi amiga, como ver que su hija sufre y nadie le está haciendo nada por ayudarla. Y ojalá y que los que sean padres o madres de aquí entiendan y se pongan en esa... Que se pongan en los zapatos de mi amiga para poder entender todo lo que ella está pasando. Gracias. Gracias.
I am hopeful that mothers and fathers that are members of this board will take this into account and take the right steps. Thank you.
Mayra Raudales, if not mistaken.
She had to leave, but she did submit her comment too.
Okay, we'll read it after. Verónica Dueñas.
I have three different topics.
Okay, let's go ahead and do job fair.
Thank you. So good evening, board members, superintendent, and executive cabinet. My comment is on the job fair that we had on the December 10th on Saturday. And I want to say thank you to all HR staff for organizing and executing the first ever classified job fair that took place Saturday, the 10th. CSEA appreciates each and every HR staff member and all administration that were present that day. It was a great day to see all the community and staff come together for this great outcome of people wanting to work for CVUSD. The count was 203 that showed up. We had between 67 and 70 people that got interviewed and 51 people got hired that day. Thank you, Dr. Alice and Cindy Maldonado, for collaborating and coming up with the well-attended job fair event. Let's keep this kind of event for classified going. Thank you so much, and also to the board for this.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and do employee shoe distribution.
Thank you. Again, good evening. I would like to thank Lawrence Luna, Amelia Nino, and Angie Avalos, the risk management staff, for coordinating the distribution of the first ever work shoe distribution for the M&O and nutritional services staff. Thank you for that. This took place on Friday 9th and Saturday 10th of December. My hope as a union rep for CSEA is that the district continues similar procedures in the future for the safety needs of all staff members of each department. Also thank again Dr. Alice, Dr. Valentino, and board members for their support. Because without this, without your support for our members' safety and all staff, this would not have happened. Nutritional services count, 100 people showed up and got free shoes. M&O department, 41 people got free shoes. In the custodial family, 34 got free shoes, a total of 178 members. Again, thank you for this. Is a great way for the district to help classified staff prevent future injuries and safety for our CSEA members. Also, shout out to Nutritional Services Department
for supplying all school site kitchens with safety floor mats. Thank you, Marcus, Alex, and Emiliano. Let's always keep safety in mind. Thank you so much.
Next one, respect for classified unscheduled COLA.
So again, I didn't write nothing up for this, but good evening. And this is something that we just need to make sure that we need to get out to the board to understand that we are on the table negotiating for our members, for our families, right? Look at where we're at now. We are in deficit as far as the country, inflation, interest prices keep going up, interest rates. We are human just the way you are, but we also work hard. If I quote some of my members, we work like dogs and we do not get paid enough. It's hard out there. We are coming up to the holidays, and at some point, some will not be able to buy the presents because you either have to choose to pay your rent, your bills, or buy food. Please, we put a 7-on-7 for 2 years with we were touching our Me Too clause to take management off of it. And you guys come back with a no and a slap in the face with the 4%. That is not reasonable. Times are hard. We are moving forward in this and we cannot afford it anymore. I understand that there's a cost with the district, but also look at out there. You guys have not given us anything on schedule other than last year. We haven't received anything for almost 6 years. You guys offered the teacher a higher increase when you guys finished negotiating with us. That's a slap in the face. You offered them a 5 when you offered us a 4. So please think about it. We go back to the table on the 11th. We went back to our 10% increase. We are willing to work with the district, but it feels that you are not willing to work with us. Thank you.
Alicia Valladolid.
Hi, it's me again, Alicia Valladolid, and I work in the library at Cesar Chavez, and I'm so proud. Even so, my topic is overwork. I remember coming here when Dr. Gomez was here, and I had, again, 45 pallets. I had for support, no support. Now I don't have 45 pallets. It's like I have 4 departments. I'm tired. And all I get is more work, more work. I was listening to the teachers. They need subs. In our school, we have 2 positions open and then not being hired. When one of them is out, guess what? We do the extra. I'm not at the front, but the front people at the office, they do the job. I see them. I hear them. I hear my coworkers in different departments. We have a lot on our plate. When Dr. Gomez was here, how long ago that I asked for support? I didn't get it. I still come and I ask for support. I don't ask for me no more because I won't get it at all. It's one day I'm doing my job. My supervisor, we got this done by this day. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't ask for support. I don't ask for support because I don't get it. But I still do my job. Ask my supervisors, previous ones, like 4 already. They ever complain about my job? No. Even if I have to work overtime, which I don't get paid. But my co-workers are feeling it. I hear them. Are you hearing us? No. You're not. Thank you.
Thank you. Mari, can we move on to the electronically comments?
CVUSD, sorry. CVUSD CSEA member, subject COLA. I do not understand how CVUSD board cannot see the need for a decent COLA. The 4% the district is offering is a slap on the face, to say the least. The 4% will do very little for the cost of living. In the past few years, inflation has risen to about 9.1%. In the month of November, inflation was at an average 7.1% a month. The price of eggs has skyrocketed from an average of $1.45 to $4.18. If you look at gas prices alone, its lowest here in the valley, if you really look, is $3.99 on a small tank of gas. So at $3.99 a gallon, at 12 gallons equals $47.88. Social Security, the most underpaid group in the country, are scheduled to receive an 8.7% increase. And we, CSEA members whom give all, are being offered less than a full tank of gas. Our neighboring districts have better staffing for their employees and are still offering better COLAs than what CVUSD has offered. Palm Springs Unified School District has approved a 9.7% COLA. Most Palm Springs Unified School District staff members do not travel to and from work as far as some of us have to, and yet they are offered a better COLA. We as a unit are already grossly understaffed, and to add insult to injury, you refuse to pay us a decent COLA. We members are not asking for a handout. We are asking to look at the whole picture, take into consideration everything, and pay us what is needed. Thank you. Evelyn Castro, CSEA members, subject 4% proposed raise. As an active CSEA member and an employee of 10 years, I am extremely disappointed in the district and its board members with the ridiculous 4% proposed raise they are bringing to us classified members. Time and again, we have been left behind and forgotten for administration and certificated employee raises. We are asking for you to finally give us what is deserved and what is right. Lori Howard. To start off, according to the Center for Education Statistics, U.S. Department of Education, the percent of growth of population in public schools between 2000 and 2019 is as follows. Students 7.6%, teachers 8.7%, and district administration 87.6%. This shows how top-heavy administration is, and on top of that, the district has given this group a raise in the disguise of a reclass. Our contract states if any group is given a raise, the other groups get the same raise. Our HR is hiding behind the language, and that is that it wasn't a raise. We all know differently. They went around the language so that they would not have to give us COLA that we earned. The surrounding districts have done right by their employees, and our district should do the same. It was said that the board took their lead from administration. According to the Board of Education in Sacramento, the administration should be taking its lead from the board and not the other way around. The superintendent works for the board, not the board works for the superintendent. CSEA is only asking for its fair share for the employees that have their boots on the ground and who work regardless of what is going on. This can't be said for all of administration. Palm Springs gave a 9.7%. Desert Sands, I think did a 6% or 6.5. Even Social Security gave an 8.5% or close to that starting in January. Cost of living has gone up to 8.5 or maybe more. We as classified employees cannot even keep up with inflation, which is over 8%. You offered 3% and then 4%. How is this even close to fair? Please reconsider your offer and as a board, do what is right without any influence from administration, which is already earning a decent living. Thank you for your time. Bianca Gariana,
4% is not enough for our classified employees. It is not fair that we are expected to work outside of our positions at times just to finish the day. We need more. And one more. From Maura Raudales. Dear board members and Mr. Valentino, Superintendent, my name is Maura Raudales. I'm here tonight to respectfully request that you provide the support and attend the petition done by Mrs. Lorenza Cortez and her husband to have a meeting with you and board members. Mrs. Cortez request was that you assist her daughter Yuridia Cortez's IEP today, 12/15/23. According to Special Education Director, Mr. Nicholson, that was not possible. His reason was because he is not. You also denied a request of the parents to meet with you. As you are aware, there is an investigation for possible sexual assault against a student by her teacher, Mr. Hernandez. The student has not been receiving any educational support for at least 2 months now. She is not willing to assist in person school for the trauma done by the sexual assault by his teacher, her student. The family requires your support and assistance. Can you provide a written response for denying to meet and assist Mrs. and Mr. Cortez? You are a public servant, and that is your duty to assist the people that place you in the position that you and board members held today. Thank you, Maura Raudales. That's all.
Thank you, Mari. Moving on. Written communications, we're in student trustee report.
Yes, okay. So at CV, they will be holding a drive-through ceremony for academic award recipients on the 13th, and then they'll be holding parent FAFSA nights and meet with credit deficient students who need help with the application. And then at DM, we're also holding a financial aid night for parents on the 18th. And we're working on FAFSA applications with students who haven't submitted yet. While in LAFA, they are finishing up session coursework and as well as completing online credit recovery courses, achieving the Lobos Club status of a 3.0 or higher GPA. So the girls soccer team at CV took home the championship 2 weekends ago at the Linfield High School tournament. And at our school, Amory Felix broke the school scoring record and was featured as KUSQ Student Athlete of the Week. And then at West Shores, this year is the first time they're participating in wrestling and LAFA athletics as well. Their LAFA girls volleyball had a great season, winning 5 out of their 6 games. And then at CV, they held their Winter Spirit Week, and they will be hosting their annual toy drive today at Oasis Mobile Home Park. And their ASB officers recognized all of their students who received a 3.0 GPA or higher. And then their dance team performed at the Coachella Parade and received first place. And at DM yesterday, we held our Winter Posada, and at West Shores, they held their Winter Blood Drive as well as their Red Ribbon Week. And they also participated in the Christmas and Mecca Parade in Coachella. And then 9 LAFA students submitted applications to be LAFA student ambassadors and will be interviewing with the principal to be selected. So at CB, the avid senior Carla De Leon got us up to Brown University with a full ride, and she was matched through QuestBridge. And in CTU programs, the dual enrollment for IT Essentials, Hospitality, and DDP will continue in the spring of 2023. Not to mention at DM, the web design class will also start job shadowing, including our sports medicine with Mr. Camby from India Movement for Life. And then we're also, so the arts, media, and entertainment and the Puente program, we're collaborating with the Rotary Rotary project for the Purepecha tribe, where they will create a public statement announcement to address needed topics in the community, such as diabetes, vaccines and testing, teen pregnancy, and alcoholism. And this public statement announcement will be delivered in the Purepecha language for the community, and this will also begin in January, which is very exciting because we're able to connect with the Purepecha community as well. And then LAFA also represented at the Coachella Christmas Parade, and they will be holding their Friday Night Live this Friday as well. And then I just wanted to talk about the experience, well, my experience at the CSBA conference on San Diego. It was a really good experience. I enjoyed it a lot. I learned a lot as well in the training for the student trustee. And I think that through this experience, I'll be able to kind of give more feedback and just, I'm sorry, I lost my thing.
You definitely seem a lot more confident today.
Yeah, I got some tips over there. They were giving me some tips and pointers. I was like, okay, I'll be using them.
Student trustee. No, definitely. Sorry, continue.
And other than that, yeah, just thank you so much. And yeah, let's continue this good work.
Thank you. Moving on to board member reports, Mr. Queen.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to congratulate our students that came here earlier. You know, it's always a joy to either the athletics or the academics or the other things that they're involved in our district. So it's great to see the involvement of the students and the parents. So I want to give them a shout out. Want to thank everyone who came to talk to us today. We do listen. Sometimes we don't agree, but we do listen. And thank those who came, who also sent their stuff electronically, who couldn't be here. I'm going to keep it kind of short. I did also go to the conference in San Diego. You know, I thought we did really well. Our dance team performed on the opening day, and they really, everybody was talking about them. They did a great job. You know, thanks to Juliana and everyone over at the school. They were great. Later in the conference, we received a Golden Bell Award for our Ethnic Studies program, which is very nice. Everybody knows Coachella and the Ethnic Studies program. We're pretty much a leader, not only in the state, but I think across the nation. And it was good. They also presented, and it was very interesting that a lot of the people who came to the session for Ethnic Studies were there because now they're up against the clock. They have to put a program in place, and everybody was like, well, how do we do it? How do we do it? And, you know, he explained, well, you just got to do it. You got to get out there and start putting it together regardless. And they did invite them to come out to see what we're doing. So I expect we're going to be getting a few visitors for different programs as well. So I thought all in all, our district represented very well at the conference. I want to also give a shout out to all those who participated in the Coachella Christmas Parade. I know we should call it the Coachella Aces Parade, but you know, they get the mayor gets mad when I say that. But also our high school bands and our dance teams all performed in a lot of our nonprofit agencies and our youth groups from there. It was really nice, you know, to get it back going again. I think the attendance was great. You know, people are coming back. And, you know, there was a lot of construction on 6th Street right now, but even with that, there was a lot of people there. So, you know, it's a long parade. It's one of those long parades, but I don't think the parents mattered. You know, they wanted to see their kids and everybody else perform. So, great job to all of those who were involved. B. Gonzalez, the master of ceremony, always pretty funny, keeping them going in between the kids as they're coming in. But, so I think they did a great job. Finally, in a personal note, I do want to thank the community for allowing me the honor of serving for another 4 years. I really appreciate their confidence and support. I want to thank all the people who supported me and helped the campaign. And again, to all those parents that we knocked on doors and who had a lot of really good questions and, you know, honestly want to get involved. sometimes they just don't know how to get involved with their parents' education. I personally want to thank my colleagues on the board here who endorsed me and supported me and helped me out there. As I've always said before, I mean, we may disagree on votes, but I have no doubt in my mind that you all do what you do because you think it's the best interest of the students. And I respect you all for that. So thank you guys for coming. Congratulations, Valerie, and welcome back, Silvia, for another 4 years. And again, I think I've been mentioning to people, and I mentioned to some of the administration down in San Diego, aside from all the things that we have going on, I'm very hopeful with a lot of the things I see happening in our district. At the conference, a lot of the main focuses were a lot of things that we're already doing. And the issue is we got to do them better. We got to do them, we got to step it up and do it a little better. But all the things they're talking about, the wellness centers, the mental health, the ethnic studies, the interventions programs, the CTE programs, the expanded learning, the after school programs, all those things that they're saying are important, we're doing already. We've been doing them for a while, and now it's just our job to step it up. With regards to the other issues that we have in our districts, they'll resolve themselves. It gets noisy and everybody has a job to do, so I don't take it personal. Just don't come to my house late at night, banging on my door, and I'll be fine. But they'll get taken care of, and they always do. I think we've always done that in the past. Not everybody's going to be happy, but that's the nature of negotiations. So once again, I want to thank all of you for coming. And for those of you that I might not see, happy holidays, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you.
Forget. So we'll go this way. Trustee Garcia.
Thank you all, everyone who spoke today. We hear you and we do have conversations. So absolutely, thank you all, everyone who was here in person and submitted comments electronically. We hear you, and we do have discussions, right? Thank you all for the confidence in me. I'm honored to represent our school district, the district that I grew up in, and returned home to make a difference and have my own son come and be proud to be educated here as I did. So I am grateful and don't take this lightly. So, the work begins starting today, right? As far as that goes. So I do have confidence that through conversation, we will come to agreements here in the board. We all have the best intentions. You don't come to do this work for nothing, right? We all have noble intentions. It was very exciting to be able to go to the CSBA conference and to see the district shine in so many areas. It was amazing to see the dance team in such esteem. I mean, they looked so amazing and we're so proud. You could just see that. And then we received the Bell Award as board member Acuna stated, to see how well received our ethnic studies program was received, the comments and questions that people across the state are now interested in talking to our teachers who created that program. That was amazing to see, because it's so important and we're ahead of the curve there. So yeah, this is the beginning of good work, right? And continued work here for all of us. So it's not lost on me. And I'll take this, take all the comments that are being said here and throughout the community, take that all into account. And I do hope that everyone is able to have happy holidays. I know it's been a crazy time, but as we've seen in so many ways, our community is still very strong, and that's the beauty of this community, is that we can come together and do beautiful things. So just like the parade, our students are worth all of that effort that goes into every event that happens. Thank you.
Mr. Acuña, trustee Arredondo, sorry. It's twice. It's the same height, probably.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. We appreciate when community is here, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Because at the end of the day, a lot of you work really, really hard for our district, and we thank you for that. I just want to run down a list of things that I've had more time now, so I've been visiting school sites and I've been able to participate in different things. So I really appreciate that opportunity. I did attend the CSBA conference in San Diego, and I was able to receive the new trustee training, which is very, very important, right? I was able to receive it this time. So I learned a lot, and I hopefully will only improve being on the board as you learn different things. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody who participated in the Coachella Christmas Parade, and a special shout out to Oasis Elementary School. They let me walk with them. They even gave me some likes. So shout out to Mr. Galvez there, who we just talked along the route and said hi to people, and also talked about some of the needs in our school district. So thank you, Oasis Elementary ACES program, for that. I got to do some school visits. I got to visit La Familia High School. And I really like, my request would be, Dr. Valentino, if we could get an update on where we are with LAFA, because I know that we have so many students at our high school, comprehensive high school, that need extra support and need a smaller classroom and a smaller high school. And we need to do something about just supporting our students to and expand our La Familia High School and make sure that we can provide those services to them. Because as I look to them, they also requested some stuff. I've already met with you. Thank you for meeting with me on that. I got to visit CD High School. The weight rooms, they're already being worked on, and excited about all the upgrades that are happening there, because having good equipment in our sports are doing such a great job, and our students deserve the best equipment and the best weight rooms and facilities that we can give them. So I really good work. I think good work is happening there. A shout out to our Coachella Valley High School band and choir. I've been looking at Lisette Santiago's post, and they have been everywhere. So our high school band, and it's grown in size. So I want to give a shout out to Mr. Granillo there and say that it's beautiful when our high school band can be out there and sharing that pride, and also our choir, who has been amazing too. Mr. Abravanel, thank you for taking the students out into the community and being available. Lastly, I'd like to welcome Valerie and my two colleagues. As all of us here, we have past relationships. We work with each other. As has been said, we may not always agree on how to get there, but we agree that we need to get to certain places, and I think that's where the conversation is going. We do hear, we do listen to you. We're trying to do our best, as there are so much needs in our school district. A couple of things that I want to take away from, that I just want to share from attending the annual CSBA training, is that economic times shift, and we're waiting on the state to kind of let us know what's happening there. But there's also a lot of things that I do want to echo what Ms. Garcia said, that our school district is doing a lot. We are doing a lot in the classroom. We're doing a lot in CTE. We're doing a lot in the different things that we do. We just need to now acknowledge the people doing it and continue to motivate our staff, show the appreciation to our staff, because you do the daily work. So my final comments is thank you. I hope you all have a happy holidays, and we are here to listen, to hear you. We are hearing you, and hopefully support you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Arredondo. Trustee Paz.
I thought you were gonna keep going in order. I was waiting to be the last one. So thank you everyone who showed up today earlier as well as right now for the public comment. Yeah, there's a lot of work, I think, to do. I will not repeat, I'll just echo and thank my colleagues for representing the district and, you know, everything that you do, attending the conferences, being out there for the community and the events. There's been a lot. And thanks to all the staff and the students and their families who've been very busy in the parades and all the festivities. Happy to be able to be here for another 4 years, God willing. And I'll just end by sharing with you maybe my wish, my prayer in this season for more peace, more joy, more blessings for all of you, for our families, and that affects, right, the relationships that we're having with one another, how we show up for one another, and the lives that we're touching every day. So thank you and have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Trustee Vargas.
Yeah, I'll be brief. First off, congratulations to our newly elected board member and you know, our returning board members. I'm really looking forward to working with each and every one of you. Maybe I should have been a little bit more aspirational with my comments, but I think there are just kind of 3 areas that I'm hoping staff can provide an update on in the coming months. You know, and I leave it to your discretion at the right time for these updates, but would really like to know, get an update on our special education department. I know there's been a number of changes. I know that there were a number of areas of improvement that we had identified prior to our new staff. So I think it might be a good time to revisit and just get an update to see how things are improving. The other 2 areas, just an update on our pre-K 3, how that's going. I know we attended a conference a couple months ago, and so really looking forward to see some of the updates. I think the other area is really trying to get a sense of our North Shore new elementary school. I know that there's a lot of interest by our community to be engaged in that process. So the earlier we can start talking about it, I think would be best in terms of, you know, ensuring that there is engagement and that we have as a district the time to authentically engage them in that process. So those are kind of the 3 areas that I'm kind of hoping to get, you know, we can get an update and just want to get a sense of kind of where we're at. And just to close, I do want to thank today's public comments. Really appreciate the staff for all the work that they do. And I guess this is my aspirational piece. Wish everyone happy holidays and hope that everyone is able to take some much needed rest, and appreciate everyone for all the work that they do.
Thank you. Vice President Gonzalez.
Congratulations, Mr. Galarza. Look forward to working with you as our president. I'm sure that as always, you're going to do an amazing job. You're going to turn these 4-hour meetings into 2-hour meetings, which is really cool.
Not a good start.
Not a good start today. No, it'll settle back. No, congratulations, really. I don't know where you fall in terms of age and being a school district president, but I think the fact that you're doing this at such a young age is really telling about who you are and what your future looks like. I want to also thank Valerie. It's time to get to work, right? Congratulations, you won. Look forward to working with you and trying to work every time we're here to create the best possibility for every child that we represent. Mr. Cunha, I had no doubt that you were going to get reelected. I believe Silvia had an opponent. It would have been the same. I think people have a way of understanding the role that we play when we're here. We're by far not perfect, but I think if we wake up every day in the morning seeking the truth, it's very telling, and people can see the value of that, right? And so congratulations, Mr. Cunha, Ms. Paz. Look forward to working with you guys in my tenure here. Jocelyn, thank you for what you do. And look forward to continuing to work with you. Merry Christmas to everybody. I mean, it's just it's an interesting time, right? Where you could feel, right, that we have a real situation in our community where people are hurting, right? Where people are looking to create more certainty, more possibility. At the same time, us as representatives, we have the obligation of being and making sure that the system that we represent is going to have the resources that it needs to continue forward in a fiscally responsible way. So it's that balancing act that I think we get to take on as we continue to work to in good faith to try to create possibilities, right? So with that being said, that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. As far as my report, again, I'd like to start off by congratulating our newly elected trustee Garcia and welcome you to Coachella Valley Unified School District Board of Education, and congratulations to our re-elected board members. You gotta go. Okay. Have a good night. Thank you for coming
Happy
by.
holidays.
I promise that next time you're here, we'll be back on time for open session and
Okay,
we
sounds
won't
good.
start too late. Thank you. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. I forgot where I was. Yeah, congratulations to our re-elected school board members for their successful campaigns and coming back and continuing the good work that we're doing. As far as what we've done in the last couple of months, we also attended the CSBA where we were fortunate enough to be able to present alongside with our ethnic studies teacher and curriculum brain, right, Mr. Johnny Gonzalez, who has been a pioneer alongside with Luis Pinedo and other amazing teachers, right? I'm very excited and very honored and a bit nervous to take on this year, right, as president. But I am very committed, as I stated earlier, to continue the conversation in best interest of our students, right, and keeping that at the center of the conversation and our decision making process. I look forward to working with our unions. Isadora, thank you for being here. I look forward to expanding our relationship and continuing to work together. Clarissa, I look forward to working with you and getting to know all you more at a personal, professional level, and ultimately work together with all stakeholders to ensure that we're giving the best quality of education to our students, with the hopes that their quality of life improves, right, in the future and in the present. So very excited to sit here and honored and privileged more than anything, right? Because these are positions. This is a responsibility that was entrusted in me, and not everybody has the privilege to be supported by the community and trusted with the lives of our children and the education of our children. So thank you all. Thank you to the community. Thank you to my colleagues, and happy holidays. Let's make 2023 our year. Mr. Valentino, Dr. Valentino.
Thank you. Thank you, President Galarza. I wanted to welcome you formally, Ms. Garcia. Thank you for joining the team. Great board with great vision, and our responsibility is to execute on that. And we're looking forward to working with you on those priorities that you bring to the table. To Mr. Acuna and Ms. Paz, looking forward to continuing to work with you. Mr. Galarza, President, looking forward to collaborating on those important priorities that we've already begun to discuss, and to the executive board, the same. So I'm excited about the future as we move forward in the work. Our classified job fair was mentioned, as well as our employee campaign would not have happened without the team of classified, certificated, and management coming together in to really support our employees. It was a remarkable experience. It was done with short notice, but the results were incredible. And so I am looking forward to continuing to collaborate with our partners to make sure that the work moving forward continues to be shared effort. So thank you for all of your support there. I'm happy to announce that the CVUSD Education Foundation is now reinstated and is active. So it is now an official nonprofit once again, all the way going back to 2016 when it wasn't. And so there are a few next steps, including board selection and making decisions about how the resources will be shared. But what this allows is for partners who want to donate to actually see that there is a formal structure that allows for them to donate to the school district's efforts. And finally, I'd like to wish everyone a great holiday and hope that you spend time with your loved ones, get some rest, and looking forward to seeing you again in the new year. Thank you, Mr. Galarza. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to any organization, approval of certification of authorized signatures.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Acuna, a second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Appointment of board representatives to various committees. You all have your committee sheet in front of you. I think for the most part, we can stay the same and we'll give you the option to if you want to jump in for Ms. Hawes, the ones that she's been appointed to, or is there any committee in particular that you're interested in joining? And we can do nominations that way.
I have committees that I've looked into and are interested in, because she had a lot.
Okay.
She had like a ton, right? So I have the ones that I've highlighted that I think it's every single one that she's been on, so should be okay. You want me to just list them off, or how do you want me to do it?
If you're okay with just replacing the ones that she's on, or is there certain ones that you know and yes?
Because it's because she was president, so it wouldn't be
Okay.
those, right?
No.
Can you just go one by one, Mr.
Okay,
President?
let's go. Let's go one by one. Audit committee, we have Ms. Paz. Do you still wish to stay in that one?
Are we going to meet?
Yes, as our CBO states.
Okay.
Yes. Ms. Garcia, is that the one? Are you interested in that one? Audit?
It wasn't one I highlighted because I didn't see any agenda or anything when I looked it up. So I will pass on that one if there's anyone else who.
Is there anybody interested in joining the audit committee? I'll start not, I'll appoint. Okay. So we have trustee Paz and trustee Vargas for audit. Budget committee as bylaws, president and vice president. And that one, Ms. Vargas is there. She can either choose to stay and somebody else can also jump in and we do a vote.
Was interested in the budget committee.
Okay.
I'd like to stay.
You'd like to stay?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's nominations for two people, then we'll go ahead and so president, vice president per bylaws with one person additionally. And Ms. Vargas has nominated herself and Ms. Garcia has also nominated herself. So we'll do this on a motion vote. So this roll call?
I didn't think it would get to that, but yeah, I would motion that, that Vargas continue in that her capacity on the budget committee and also respect,
So is that like a second? What's the process here?
General, the committee assignments, technically, the board president can make them all.
Okay.
It's customary to ask who wants to be on, but in this case, the board president decide.
Board president.
Unless he wants to go through the whole motion thing, then
Yeah,
that's his discretion.
okay, no, I think for the purpose of Ms. Vargas's integrity, Ms. Vargas's work already in the committee and her desire to stay on the committee, we'll keep her on that committee. That's okay with everybody. Coachella Valley Education Foundation, myself as president, Mr. Gonzalez. Okay.
Just quick note on that. I have to be at the first meeting because I was part of the reconstitution of it. So decide whoever, but on that first meeting, I need to be present. And then after that, we can go back to the, to whoever you assign.
Okay.
It's just a procedural thing that I have to do because of that. It's not that I'll say permanent, it's just because that very first meeting.
Okay, that's great. And Ms. Pasa, you wish to stay as an
Yeah,
alternate?
but I don't think it needs to be an alternate. I could just be the third.
The third,
Yeah, the third board member. Isn't it?
um,
Unless there's
is
bylaws.
there
that
bylaws
there-
that limits,
limit.
that limits to two?
Okay, so I'll stay as alternate right now and then.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So we'll keep it as an alternate until we change those bylaws. Perfect. Culture and climate, Mr. Arredondo, do you wish to stay on that committee?
Yes.
Ms. Paz, do you wish to stay on that committee?
Yes.
Okay, there's an opening,
Culture and climate.
is that one of the committees that you highlighted?
I didn't see it on the list that I was given, so I didn't look into that one. But sure, yes.
Yes, okay, we'll go ahead and put you there. Okay, curriculum committee, Mr. Acuna, do you wish to stay there?
Didn't realize I was on it, but yeah.
I thought I was on it.
The list that I have, you were.
Well, I was showing up.
So you haven't been part of that one?
They sent me the notice, but I wasn't sure I was even on it, so I don't think I went to that first meeting.
Oh, there was a
And
curriculums and,
policy.
there's a curriculums and programs
For programs.
that we split.
I know that was split, that's why I know I was on it, that's why I
Okay.
didn't realize I was on.
So Ms. Vargas, did you participate in those meetings?
I want to say I did.
Yeah, it was Ms. Vargas and I.
Oh, Ms. Vargas and Mr. Arredondo, do you guys? Okay,
I participated with Mrs. Vargas.
okay, perfect. Do you want to continue to be on that committee? Yes, okay, we'll put Ms. Vargas, Mr. Arredondo,
Yes.
Mr. Arredondo. Awesome, and we can add a third one too, right? Yeah. Is there any other interested? Anybody else interested? No? Okay, we'll keep it at 2. District DLAC, Ms. Vargas, do you wish to stay on that committee?
And no one else would like to.
Anybody want to do DLAC? Seeing none, Mr. Arredondo, do you wish to stay there?
Yes.
Okay, Vargas and Arredondo. Head Start Advisory, Ms. Vargas, do you wish to stay there?
Again, if no one else, yeah.
That's the one you don't really want to stay, huh?
No,
I'm kidding, I'm
I
kidding.
love Marcella. and Archie.
I'm kidding. Okay, anybody wish to join the Head Start Committee? Seeing none, I'll keep myself and Ms. Vargas there. LCAP Committee, anybody wish to be on that committee?
Yes.
You want to be in that one? Okay.
That one, President, that one is also President, Vice President,
It's not listed here.
isn't it?
The LCAP? No.
Doesn't say.
Okay. Because that's how it was set up with President Hall and Vice President. or something like that.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Say listed
It
as
doesn't
what I
say.
was given ahead of time.
Okay,
I don't care. I'm just pointing out
awesome.
That's how.
Awesome.
they did it. That's what-
Ms. Paz, do you want to be on the LCAP committee?
I'll be in the LCAP committee.
Awesome, I'll put you there. Mr. Redondo, do you want to stay as an
I
alternate?
can stay, on, or if somebody else wants to take that, that's okay too.
Nobody else to take on?
You want to be on the, okay.
So I have Ms. Garcia and Ms. Paz as the committee members and yourself as an alternate.
Okay.
Mr. Redondo. That's fine, okay. Facilities committee, that can stay as is or, yeah. Program committee. Mr. Cunha? Can stay as is. We can add one more if anybody else wants to be on the program committee. Seeing none, okay, policy legislative committee?
Yes.
Yes. Well, anybody else? No, we'll replace you with Ms. Ha.
Mr. Cunha, facilities not something you want to get back on? Actually, we're having you on there, and I think Mr. Donnie's here has a lot of work.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, yeah, let's, I'll switch you out, yeah. I'll switch myself out. No, you're right. I was hoping somebody signed up. 2x2 City of Coachella, Mr. Gonzalez and Mr. Acuña. Yeah, City of Indio, Mr. Acuña.
Yeah.
And then I'll do.
Valerie.
Yeah.
City of La Quinta, Mr. Acuña. Anybody else want to take that one for me? I'll give you a Redondo. I looked at you. County of Riverside Board of Supervisors, 4th District. I'll appoint myself to that one. Ms. Vargas, do you want to stay there?
Yeah, let's stay.
Okay. Desert Healthcare, Desert Rec District, Mr. Redondo.
Yeah, unless somebody else wants to be on there.
Anybody, is there any desire from any board members to be on the DRD committee? Do you want to help them?
No, I don't.
Ms. Boss would probably be. Good.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
County of Imperial, I'll stay. Mr. Gonzalez. Okay, College of the Desert, Mr. Acuña. Anybody else? Mr.
I
Gonzalez?
want to do that one.
Want to do that one? Okay. CVWD, Mr. Gonzalez and Ms. Paz. Yeah, okay, cool. Mari, did you record it or you need help? Do you need my
I
copy?
couldn't catch some of them. It's
Okay.
recorded though.
Awesome. Can I get a motion to approve board representatives to various communities as discussed? Yeah, I'm good with the way these are still too. So Riverside County Committee on School District Organization, myself and Mr. Redondo as the alternate, right? I actually just got appointed as chairman of that committee about a month ago. Thank you, sir. And Riverside County School Board Association. Gonzalez, do you want to stay on that one? Awesome. Can I get a motion to approve board representatives to various committees? Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Redondo. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries.
Related to this, I know we passed the request for future agenda items, but can I make a request
Yes.
related to this? We have a tribal like parent advisory. Similar, I would imagine, to the DLAG. I think having a board representative there might be a good idea. So if that can be brought back in a future meeting.
Yeah, I think that can be a good 2x2, right? 2x2 with tribal.
Oh, well, that would be separate, but I'm talking about the parent advisory. They already meet.
Okay.
We've heard here and there when things are not going well, people about that space, so I think it would make sense to have a board member or two assigned to that one.
What was really telling, Ms. Foss, to your thought is when we were down at TDA and we walked in as if we were an entity that they never seen before, the discussion was a bit odd because they obviously felt like we weren't engaging what was so I think for that reason, right? And then I think we had at that time we had a board member who was kind of, I don't know what was going on over there, she kind of wasn't really representing us and no one was working. I think that's important.
Okay,
Special
note taken of your request. Approval to appoint the superintendent as secretary to the governing board. So moved. Motion by Mr. Arredondo, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Approval to appoint the assistant superintendent of HR as the affirmative action officer. So moved. Motion by Mr. Arredondo, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Moving on to presentations, Mayela, floor is yours.
Good evening, Board President, Board Members, Cabinet, thank you. All of our staff and directors out there, thank you for hanging in. We're gonna make this really quick. Veronica was gonna join me. Now she's awake. I saw her yawning back there. It makes it shorter. We have a quick update with first interim. And Veronica's done an amazing job. She's actually working with transportation, in transportation, and she also helped me through this first interim. She would have done the power presentation too if I would have said, go ahead and do it. I said, well, if I start coughing, you're gonna have to take over. Do they turn it on or do I? Oh, it's right here. I guess I have to. There we go. Okay. Okay. So our projections are our financials always start with our enrollment. We look at enrollment, where we're at. We project our ADA, our funding to make sure that we have our revenue correct. We project out a few years to make sure that we also have that either stability, increase, decrease. However, we're looking at our projections. So this is a really nice, colorful our graph that you see as far as how our enrollment has declined and how we're projecting to continue to decline until 26-27. That will change if this year, so far we haven't increased as much above as what we projected. So we still project that we'll be decreasing about 200 students for the next few years. In our budget assumptions for 2023, are what we have as far as enrollment. And keep in mind, we're actually going to start working on our enrollment projections pretty soon now, along with our budget. We start cleaning up our budget. Now, the enrollment projections impact our staff. The less students we have in the classroom, the less teachers accordingly. So as we see our trend, then we adjust, and then that's how we build our budget. Our COLAs right now, this is what we have for 22-23, 6.7%. In 23-24, 5.38, and 24-25 is 4.02. These are the recommendations from business services, from school services, I'm sorry. The LAO has already put out there the increase for next year, which is above an 8%. So we're gonna wait to see what happens in January with the governor's recommendation and then what's actually adopted. So we'll bring that back. For 22-23, we don't have, what's pending is a plan for music, the instructional material discretionary grant, which is about $9.8 million. We also don't have all of the revenue that we're receiving from ESSER. We actually include it as we're spending it. That's why you'll see a little bit of an increase for this year in our budget in revenue and expenses because we brought in what we're spending for the year.
Can I ask a question as you're going? Just on the on the arts plan, the plan for arts, music and instructional material. I mean, it's material, right? Like, so it's instruments, it's whatever we need for that, but it's not for staffing.
So that's the title of it. They actually talked a lot about it as to how they were gonna title it. And at the end, the discretionary, it allows districts to use it in the way that is needed. So one of the topics that it brings up is the increase in stirs and pers or fixed costs that come about on the district. If we do decide to bring a plan that includes arts, music, buying equipment, bringing on staffing, then for this year and the following years, we have to sustain it. That doesn't occur if we use it on discretionary causes.
I just wanted, I know we've spoke about this before, but for those of you out there who don't know, there are strings attached to this. There are other grants and other funding that if we do it wrong, we can't use this one, and we have to be very careful as to how we use those fundings. So it isn't just an open, we do whatever we want to do with the money. There's other things that are tied to this that'll get us in trouble in other areas of funding. So we need to be very careful. So it's not, you know, all these things always come with strings and little words in here and there that say, oh, by the way, if you do this, we take that money away. So we just need to make sure that we're, and we've already discussed this, is not something I just, for those out there who's thinking, oh, look at all that money. No, there's strings attached to it as well that we have to be very careful with this one.
Yes, and there is funding that is for arts and music that's coming in 23-24, which is for that. So that, not to confuse. Yeah, there we go, Prop 28. So that's coming, not to confuse it with this one.
So how long do we have this one for?
It's discretionary. I don't know that we have to spend in a certain time. Okay. And part of our budget adjustment for this year, right, and for right now, from unaudited actuals to first interim, we brought in $11.7 million of ELOT money, and the ESSER funding for 14.6. So that funding is to mental health, to the contracts that we have open. It's the funds that we're actually going to use this year. I'm going to have Veronica talk a little bit about the transportation revenue. We've only included 2.3 million because the language reads a certain way.
Good afternoon. So really briefly, today we presented our first meeting. We're going to be working on a transportation plan for our district because this funding that came with this year's adopted budget for transportation requires that our school board or our district works with educational partners and the board adopts a plan for transportation services by April 1st. So we had a meeting today with our leadership and presented a little bit on transportation. Our district is unique in that our board has prioritized transportation, and we provide a robust transportation program for our students. Most districts don't provide transportation for high school students or middle school students. And so our district is already doing a lot in terms of transportation. So we're in a good place. We have a meeting scheduled for the end of January. We are going to be surveying and attending meetings, parent meetings at the school sites, specifically those sites that we provide transportation for. And we're going to be bringing forward a plan that we're going to work with our educational partners on between now and March, when we present to you at the first March meeting, and then get your feedback as well, and then recommend a plan for adoption at the second March meeting so we can meet our deadline.
And she did have in the presentation that they had today with the transportation team, it's a really nice presentation. Actually had really nice pictures that someone took. If she shares it, we'll share it for everyone. This is our multi-year projection. So we look at what we are doing now, what happened last year, what we're doing now, and what we project in the future. Keep in mind that our revised budget will change now at first interim, then at second interim, and then again at the end of the year. So we are always looking out to, if we spend this amount with the revenue that we have, and then we project out how much we're getting the following year, how does that impact each of the years? This is a graphic, a different way of looking at revenues. As far as LCFF, our supplemental, our federal, our state, our local, and our transfers. And these are our expenses in the big categories: certificated salaries, classified employee benefits, books and supplies, and services, and little outgoing. So remember, this is big picture. We have the details of all of this that we can provide. So what are our next steps? So right now, what we first interim, we have a second review, second interim. By then we'll have that January projection from the governor, see where it's going to be. Is it the same as we've expected so far? Knowing already if based on our enrollment projections, are we going to increase, slightly decrease, and then project that out? Make sure that we're using our one-time funding and that we have the plans that we need and have them board approved so that we're able to use any funding like transportation and our ELOP and other funds that we have to provide plans for. So we're watching our deadlines, working closely with Ed Services. January 2023, we'll have the state proposal budget from the governor. And then second interim we'll bring back and we'll come back and see where we're at. And that will happen before March 15th. Any questions?
Hey, can we go back to the enrollment figures? No, after this, I think. So the enrollment is 23, 24. Is that because of the TK increase in students, or I see a jump there in enrollment and then it goes back down on the budget enrollment assumptions?
Yeah, the 6765. So we actually have an in. Yeah.
100, 300. It seems like those numbers should have both been, they're like backwards.
Yeah, I think we went from 16,465 and I wrote it down and I think it should be a 2, not a 7. Sorry. I look at letters and numbers. So it should be a 2. There should be a decrease from 16,465 to 16, about 289 and then 2 more. So I think I picked up the wrong number. Sorry. Oh, here it is. These are accurate. Good catch, Mr. Arredondo. See?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
And just a quick comment. And I think declining enrollment is a concern to all of us here. And I think it's something we all think about. But just wanted to make sure, and this graphic shows it just so community can see that we do have declining enrollment issue. And I know it's happening all over California, but I just want to make sure that what impacts or how does it impact us?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Great. Moving on. Can I get a motion to table item 10.2 to next board meeting for the purpose of time?
That's Mr. Stout. Believes it's eminent, needs to do it. I have no problem motion.
Okay. Mr. Stout, is there something important in your presentation that you would like to talk about?
Negative, but the next board meeting, I have something big there. So I would love to do my presentation then and lobby you guys to.
Perfect. There's a motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor? Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Let's get on to the action. Let's get ready to rumble. 11.1. Adoption of Board Resolution 2023 authorizing meetings of Board of Education to be conducted by teleconference pursuant. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Requesting approval of preschool sub-award agreement with California Department of Education. Motion by Mr. Arredondo, second by Ms. Vargas. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. For the record, the last 2 votes were 6-0. Mr. Acuna was out. Action item 12.3. Request 12.2. Sorry, I skipped one. Requesting approval for staff and parents to attend California Association for Bilingual Education Conference. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Item 12.3, requesting approval to purchase furniture for the Student Support Services Department. Motion by Mr. Redondo, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries 7-0. Requesting approval to purchase instructional supplies and equipment for new Academy of Residential and Commercial Construction.
But before we call the question on this one, I'm a bit concerned because I'm looking at, not that this is needed, but I'm looking at 12.4, 12.5, we have 17.8, 17.9 and 10. Is Ms. Parati still our CT representative or she is? Okay. She was, okay. Okay, I motion to approve staff recommendation.
Second. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Redondo. All those in favor? Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Item 12.5, requesting approval to purchase a new farm truck and trailer for CVHS. Motion by Mr. Redondo. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Vargas. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries 6-0. Mr. Gonzalez stepped out. Oh, no, Mr. Gonzalez is here. Sorry. He just wasn't sitting next to me, but he voted in favor, right?
Yeah, I know, I do, I just have a comment, I just asked for clarification, I was under the impression that for me, college and career readiness is like very specific, important position, and I had no idea that Ms. Brady was gonna continue as our CT coordinator, and then under the auspices of that, all of a sudden, our college and career readiness is now being.
She has a coordinator. Yeah. She has a coordinator that helps do all that. She's the director.
I understand, but how can vocational ed be the instrument by which we're preparing kids to go to a four-year institution? If it's almost like an oxymoron, you're gonna go into CTE or a trade, or you're gonna go to college.
Yeah,
She's the director of college and career readiness. Under college and career readiness, one of the strands is CTE, and there's a coordinator who focuses specifically on CTE.
Yeah. Let's continue with the agenda. We'll discuss that offline.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Action item 12.6, requesting approval to purchase instructions. Motion by Mr. Redondo. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Action item 12.7, requesting approval of Title I equitable services with Xavier College Prep High School. So moved. Motion by Mr. Redondo. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Action item 13.1, approval of the fiscal year 2022-2023 first interim report and multi-year projection. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second?
I'll second with the correction on those enrollment figures. Thank you.
Awesome. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mr. Arredondo, with correction of the enrollment figures. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Action item 12.3, authorization to award contract for bid number 1582023 FP North Shore Elementary School project. I'll open it up for discussion.
This was an item of discussion in our facilities meeting, in two different meetings. After looking at the fact that we only received two bids, that's one. Two, that both bids were substantially over budget in terms of the engineer estimate. This bid was, I think, a little bit over $2 million over budget. And then the third part that's concerning to me that we learned at Palmview was that the technology component to the bid process needs to be very thorough, because we got some serious upcharges when we built Palmview, because when they designed the school, it was long before it was actually bid. So the recommendation, I think, or the spirit of the discussion at facilities was to put this out to rebid, and the downside of doing that is that we would lose 2 to 3 months. But this has been a project that has been it's a very old project that we've been trying to build, and I think if we rebid, we have reason to believe that we're going to get more participants, and ultimately we're going to end up saving a substantial amount of money. And I think I would like to make the recommendation to deny staff's recommendation and to put it back out to rebid, allowing more contractors to bid the project.
Are there any questions?
I think my only question is how does it delay or impact the timeline for construction?
Yeah, we would have to go back out. They'd have to repackage it. I know that staff was working with technology to get more thorough input on the technology component side of it, so it's more precise. And it would delay the project. On the other side, we're also waiting for the water district. We're trying to figure out our domestic need as it relates to water, and so I believe that is kind of volatile too. And I think if we were to get this project theoretically ready to go and we didn't have the water district in line to deliver water, it would be a tragedy if we had a school that was ready to go and we didn't have a source of water. So we're trying to figure all that out. I think that delay of 2 months, 2.5 months could allow us more time to figure out the water question. So I just think all in all, I think we're going to save money, and I don't think 2 months, 3 months is gonna. I don't think it'll hinder. I think we stand to benefit through better participation and better delineation of the scope of work. And so I don't know. I'll turn it over to Mr. Beckham. He might have something to add.
I have an additional question as I'm weighing up all the points that were made. So we're not rebidding the same package and we're making some adjustments on technology, would that increase the potential bids that come at the end of the day still, or just?
Well, I guess my answer to that, Ms. Paz, is that if we are going to get increases, we should be cognizant going in, right? I'd rather we be thorough about what we're doing. I think ultimately we're going to end up getting a better participation, and generally when they rebid, the bid prices come down, right? So I think we stand to benefit. I'm estimating somewhere between $1 million and $2 million that we'll probably end up saving. That's just my gut feeling. May be worth something or maybe not, but the problem that we had at Palmview was that we had a lot of things like this that it's pretty embarrassing when you put something out to bid and then all of a sudden you have a new charge that you weren't cognizant or weren't prepared for, and it just looks bad. And I'd rather be very specific, even if we know going in it might cost a little bit more to make these technology.
No, I agree. And part of the reason, my follow-up question to that, or my train of thought, is that when you're presenting these items, I would like to know sort of how much wiggle room we have, because I mean, we don't have unlimited funds to build North Shore, and the more in your spirit, Board Member Gonzalez, is the more cognizant we are, right, that it's never an afterthought, that we know, okay, this is how much we did for these reasons, and this is how much wiggle room we have, so that we know when we're not going to meet our
in this particular project, if my memory serves me correctly, we have padded $2 million of potential overruns as part of the original bid.
Which is not a lot, right?
And that was obviously included when these contractors acted in good faith and made their bid. Mr. Beckham, you want to help us?
Good evening, board members. I just wanted to make myself available to answer any questions. We did have extensive discussions today in Facilities Committee. I think staff worked really hard to make sure we did a great outreach for contractors to bid the project. We had 8 pre-qualified general contractors attend the pre-bid conference, which I was very optimistic about. But then I was very disappointed that we only got 2 bids. So I'm sure the board will give proper consideration to the bid, and facility staff will follow up with the board's recommendation at this time.
Thank you, Mr. My motion stands, Mr. Galarza.
Your second. Second by Mr. Acuna. All those in favor of denying staff's recommendation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
With the understanding that it's gonna go out to bid.
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for all your great work, Mr. Baca. Action item 13.3, authorization and to enter an agreement for laboratory of record services for North Shore Elementary School.
I motion.
A motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Arredondo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any approve? Any all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. It's 10:04. I'm usually in bed by now.
That's not true.
Authorization to enter into an agreement for state inspection services for North Shore Elementary School.
I motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Ms. Vargas. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Action item 14.1, approval of state of California minimum wage increase. A motion?
I'll second.
Motion by Adonis, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Action item 14.2, approval of job description for at promise student outreach teacher.
I'll motion.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Sylvia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be acted upon in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time of the board considers a motion unless members of the board or staff request specific items to be discussed and or removed from the consent calendar, in which event the items will be considered separately. The superintendent, assistant superintendent of educational services, assistant sup of business and finance, and assistant sup of HR recommend the approval of all consent calendar items. Is there a motion to approve consent calendar?
I motion to approve the consent calendar respecting any item pulled by any board member.
Are there any items pulled?
Just wanted to, I sent, as you saw, Mr.
Yes.
President Galarza, I did send in my questions, so I got all my answers. I wasn't happy with them, but I did get all my answers. I forgot is not a good excuse, as I always like to say, but I did get my answers, so thanks.
Stuff.
You know, Joey, I've been here for a long time and I would figure that staff would have got it by now and they wouldn't.
Motion
They
to
wouldn't do
approve,
this.
motion to approve. There's a motion, there's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
For a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? 10:06.
Bad?
Not bad.